So I'm going back here, and I'm redeeming these quests. Also, I don't really have things like a profile picture or banner made for this channel. I just took like my hat badge and I drew a few tomatoes and I put it beside it for now, on the gardening thingamabob. But
sorry for the wait.
I don't know, maybe I'll get something commissioned at some point, just so that it feels more official.
I did better than that.
And like professional and stuff. Here, Sundered Whetstone. Oh, yeah, you were the one that asked me for the thingamabob. That one sword.
A whetstone? Yes. But not one you'll find anywhere in Valisthea.
No wonder I couldn't get the same finish on the grinding wheel. One hit and all done, eh? Might not be so bad if all you ever fought were duels. Good luck on the battlefield. Your second opponent would be your last, no matter how good you were.
Even so, is there some way it could be used to give the curse breakers an edge?
I think so, yeah. With this whetstone and the right kind of steel, I could probably even make a twin of the blade that rattled me. But there'd be no replacing this little rock once I worn it down to a sliver. I reckon we get a dozen swords from it, if that. Swords that the curse breakers wouldn't know how to wield properly, and that would see them through a single fire piece. Nah, no point trying to copy that thing. Be about as much use as a wax anvil. But finishing our blades with a whetstone this fine, now that's something to consider. And what's finer than fallen masonry, eh? Or more hard-wearing for that matter. Just imagine it. Good Valisthean steel with an edge as sharp as any found in the Outer Isles. I won't make a copy now. I'll make something much better.
I'm sure the curse breakers will be delighted. Just don't push yourself too hard.
Don't you worry about me, sunshine. I've been working day and night since I was half your age, and I'll still be here when you're long gone. Hey, thanks, Clive. I mean it. I owe you one, August 2. It's good to know someone's looking out for me.
You'll be happy to hear you said that.
And I'll see that my debt to you's paid. First new blade I make's got your name on it. You come and find me when you've got the materials.
All right. I will.
So I can forge some better stuff now, right? As a person who used to own a second channel that's practically dead, I will say for a fact there's a very high chance most of your viewers will just be from the main channel. I feel like that's probably not the case for a couple of reasons. Necessary for crafting the sword Excalibur. But yeah, luckily for you, unlike I was, this community knows well about your personal projects and cares about them. Some do. I feel like the gardening stuff is like so far removed that, like, Excalibur recipe unlocked. Is that a really cool sword? That I feel like most people around the community probably wouldn't really care that much. It's just there for those that do. And again, the stuff that I'm going to try to upload to it would just be the stuff that's so niche that it's a helpful resource for people that are looking that kind of thing up. So it's not that I'm trying to get like as much attention on that kind of thing as possible. Really just provide like a helpful resource for those that are trying to learn more about that kind of thing. Like I know when I was first making tomatoes and I was looking at videos about that, there's really not many videos on tomatoes that I could find. The most useful one was about 10 minutes long, and it goes through, here's what they were looking like shortly after grafting them, here's how they're developing throughout the season, and then here's making something out of the harvest and showing like how many potatoes and stuff like that were made from them. But it doesn't really go in depth on like the grafting process and the techniques used on that. So I tried to contribute something a little bit different, and I think that that specific type of video that I've made with that is something that you can't find anything exactly of on YouTube, showing exactly how tomatoes and potatoes were grafted together and what each of my grafts looked like, what it was like as a beginner, the technique that I used, like the whole thing just uncut and showing the full process there. And if that becomes like something useful for someone to refer to, like someone finds out like, oh, I can grow tomatoes and potatoes on the same plant, I wonder how I do that. Hopefully that could be a useful video to them. I don't ever expect it to be the kind of thing that ever gets a whole lot of attention. Like the kind of things I would put on there would be like so dang niche that there's just no shot, I wouldn't think. And that's not the reason why I'd want to make it. the reason why I want to make it is because I, as someone doing it myself, would see that kind of thing as a potential useful resource before I went into doing the same thing. And if that could be useful for someone else, then great.
Trouble with your gear?
Is what I figure. Here, let me see here. So what is going on with the Excalibur here? I need this. Oh, so that means that it's from a specific enemy? 268. It's not much better than my current thing. Interesting. But yeah, I don't think that there's going to be all that much overlap between, like, my current community and that channel. Like, maybe a little bit. But I honestly don't think there's going to be a massive ton of interest. We shall see. But hopefully be something useful for those that just so happen to look up that one extremely niche specific thing. Or whatever other super niche specific things I end up doing in the future with that. And when I chat to people about, like, hey, I combine tomatoes and potatoes, and people end up following up with me because they want to know more about that. Like, there have been some people from Fragapalooza, for example, that have followed up with me about that and being like, hey, can you send me pictures of the tomatoes? And that'll be a video that I can send them being like, hey, here's the whole process here. And then I can chat with them about that. Unrelated note, is it just here as the game text been getting significantly smaller lately? I think that's the size that it's always been at. It might be a different game you're getting confused with, I don't know.
How is it you always manage to arrive at just the right moment?
But yeah, that's the reason for that. And then if I do end up doing stuff for my Fargo as well, that would especially be the case that as someone that is trying to look up answers for things and not getting any, I know that I would very much appreciate having some answers out there. For like the handful of people out there that are struggling with restoring a Fargo FP series or a Dodge B series. The very small amount of people that there are doing that.
Time to second guess yourself. Now's the time to visit the infirmary. Taya says your brother's awake. Thank you, Otto.
So yeah, the idea is that even if it's not like super entertaining to a wide audience, it's super useful to a very small and niche audience.
So
is my
it was
mindset.
Not Sylvester, but Olivier who served as Ultima's puppet. And when Dion learned of this, he sought to slay the fiend. Only for his father to take the spear that would have freed him. Enough to drive a man to madness.
Small wonder he hasn't stirred. I would be afraid to wake.
Had I but reached out to him sooner, warned him of the threat Ultima posed. But now, both an empire and her prince lie broken.
Joshua, what do you know of Ultima?
Very little, I'm afraid. Despite my best efforts. 18 years ago, as I lay buried beneath the rubble of Phoenix Gate, 'twas not death who came for me, but another. And it was while in my rescuer's care, I first heard of Ultima. I've been chasing his shadow ever since. Ultima is driven by some deep, dark purpose, and for whatever reason, it would seem you are crucial to his designs. He will stop at nothing to have you, even if that means toppling an empire.
But why me? What possible use could I be to such a creature?
That is one of many answers that have eluded me. Yet, I am certain of this. It is not mere chance. You were chosen for a reason. All dominants carry within them the might of an icon. Nigh limitless power that is at once acutely limited. I wield fire, and only fire.
And I only ice. 8 wardens for 8 elements. But you, Clive.
You are different. You're special. Your abilities begin with the flames of Ifrit. they do not end there. The fact Ifrit can even exist goes against everything we thought we knew of dominance. Perhaps Ultima has been waiting for one such as you, whose potential is truly limitless.
I've encountered that thing several times now. If it or he, as you say, needs me, why hasn't he claimed me as he did the boy?
Were I to hazard a guess, I'd say the two of you are somehow incompatible. His mind not properly attuned to your body.
His mind.
Mind, awareness, spirit, call it what you wish. But I believe Ultima to be an embodiment of the concept. It is why I struggle and fail to contain him here inside me.
I'm sorry. Inside you?
With every setting sun, I feel my strength wane. And though the Phoenix's flames mend the prison I have made for Ultima, they do so at a cost. We must find a means to bring an end to him before I meet my own.
What were you thinking?
It was that or let him take Clive. And I've always had a soft spot for my brother.
But that doesn't mean you should sacrifice yourself to save me.
Joshua. Clive, it's Gav. There's an army of Akashic at the gates of Canver.
Well, what's the short of it?
It's all Tyre told you. The capital of the Free Cities is under siege by an army of monstrosities. The city guard are doing their best to stem the tide, but numbers ain't on their side.
What of Lord Byron and Mid? Were they able to escape?
No, but they're all right for now. They're hiding with Gav at midship.
We have to get them out of there.
And we shall. Otto, prepare a Stolas. Tell Gav to stay exactly where he is.
Understood.
Vivian, what's the swiftest route to the Free Cities?
That sounds like a question for the map. Look here. This road, through Tabor, should provide the least trouble.
Good.
What a coincidence. Tabor is exactly where I'm bound.
Joshua, bed is where you should be bound. You don't think I told him the exact same thing?
Were Tyre not such a talented healer, I would surely have been inclined to agree. But, thanks to her ministrations, I feel I may safely rejoin my attendant, who was to wait for me in Tabor if we became separated.
All right, we travel together.
Clive.
If he stays close to me, he'll be fine.
Thank you, brother.
I'll look after him.
Oh, I guess we have our next destination. But yeah, I still don't completely understand how, like, there's Ultima that's out and about and doing stuff, and yet he's also sealed in Joshua. Like, is it just a part of him or something like that? Or how exactly does it work? Oh, there's more quests that I can accept now. So is it the world map now that, yeah, so I am at the point where the next thingamabob is a new destination that I travel to here. So I'll do that next stream, but I may as well accept these quests really quickly. And then they're in my inventory, and then if I see them on the map along the way, then I can easily grab them and stuff. Maybe? And like physical body elsewhere? Something or other? Because it seemed like Ultima himself was kind of sealed in Joshua much earlier in the plot, but there's also Ultima that's out and about and like possessed the kiddo that I forget the name of and was acting all creepy like.
Mid-scales, the ones she made for her workshop. I borrowed them to teach the little ones about weight, and shortly after the lesson, well, They vanished. My first thought was that they'd taken them off somewhere to play, but when I asked, they swore they had nothing to do with their having disappeared.
Oh, the weights. I thought you meant the children disappeared.
Everything to do with it.
I mean, to help.
Perhaps a visit from Sid will jog their memories.
I think it just might. Thank you. I don't like to imagine that my pupils would lie to me. But if they have, I'll have no choice but to discipline them accordingly. They were in the atrium when I last saw them. As always.
Alright, on balance. Maybe I'll do it at some point if I can be bothered. Oh, getting stuck on things here. And there's a quest over here to accept. If none of them are pluses, then none of them I currently plan on doing.
Here, you put me in this situation, Clive. You can bloody well get me out of it.
What?
I need a hand with a recipe.
Are you sure it's me you're looking for? I'm not much of a cook.
I'm all the cook will be needing, thank you very much. What I want from you is a little of your time, right? Oh, and perhaps your sword. You remember Ivan's stew, right?
No.
Well, despite the look of the thing, and that awful stench, people wolf it down. So I thought I'd try making one of these supposed masterpieces myself. Had a peek at the book and gave it a go, but, well...
It wasn't as straightforward as you'd hoped. Ivan had the same problem.
Yeah, but this is my blooming kitchen, and I will not be outdone. So if you don't want to be seen as playing favourites, I suggest you lend me a hand.
Sure, if I can be bothered at some point.
And I would be only too happy to lend you a hand. So, what's on the menu this time?
A fried mortress of skyworm.
What?
That's one heck of a name, innit? Recipe seemed easy enough to an old hand like myself. Thought I'd followed it to a T. Only, turns out skyworm livers and drake's mint are not what I thought they were. At least I hope they're not, given the rancid mess they made.
Ivan said the recipes in the culinary pilgrimage date back centuries. Who's to say the ingredients even exist anymore?
Ah, that's a question for a scholar, wouldn't you say? Perhaps you know of one?
I mean, if I can be bothered here.
Fine. I'll go and speak to Harpocrates. Perhaps he'll know something. And
Speaking of weird niche ingredients, I have the very last berry from one of my experimental plants that I was growing on my desk here. I might combine these with potatoes next year, because they're one of those super highly related things. It's called a purple hull tomato, and it tastes kind of like a mix between a tomato and a blueberry and maybe a little hint of citrus. It's a interesting taste. I rather like them, actually. And maybe I'll put one on potato roots next year. We shall see. Could be the case that his physical body is just a mere husk acting out his final thoughts, but if his soul were to return, then he gains the power and intellect back? Maybe. I don't know. If the game doesn't answer it later on, then I'm just gonna Google it afterwards. Also with plant stuff. The plant that this came from, I had to toss out recently, because I recently lost my plant privileges at work, and I had to take all my plants home. Because I've been dealing with fungus gnats there for a while, which look basically like little fruit flies. I've been trying to exterminate them for a while now, but to no avail. And so I was asked to remove all the plants from work. And I didn't have enough room for all the plants here, so some of my existing plants that were here I had to toss. Both for space and because they were dealing with a little bit of a spider mite infestation that I didn't want spreading to my other plants either. So I kind of had to toss out some of my plants a few days ago.
What am I gonna do?
Oh, the different option there.
Is everything alright, Goose?
That I was not too terribly thrilled about.
Than usual.
Oh, I don't know what that means.
Because they were still growing like super happy healthily. So that was definitely a stressor recently that I wasn't too enthused about. So yeah, last berry from this one plant. Haven't eaten it yet.
The trader came by.
I was thinking about seeding it.
Usuals, like, said he'd heard some rotten rumours about her down Dallymill Way. Folk are saying she's been selling to bandits and cutthroats and that. I mean, she's fond of a chance to make a coin or two, aye, but she'd never do business with baddies. Especially not the kind who go hating people who haven't done out. I wanted to ask her about it myself, but I'm scared she'll give us a tongue lashing. She'd never give your tongue a lashing, though, would she?
I'm not afraid of a lashing.
Don't worry. I'll speak to her.
Oh, thanks, Clive. You'll let me know what she says, won't you?
Of course. I'm sure it's all just a misunderstanding.
Quest accepted, an eye for an eye. I'll do it at some point if I can be bothered. I suppose here. Yeah, that is a quest thing here. That is a quest thing here. Oh, there's another one to accept right there. The reading table. And a bunch of, like, quest markers all over the place. For things that I can do. Well, I don't know. Maybe I'll do them next time if I can be bothered. It's 2:17 in the morning. I'm getting tired. And I need my rest while I'm still recovering. So. Oh my goodness, there's a whole bunch of things here. But yeah. If only. Word from Northreach. Clive, you have the town's thanks for helping rid us of the thralls. But we are neither of us so naive to think we haven't seen the end of their like. Good Philippe has taken to seeing that we are prepared should the ghouls come once again calling. But I often worry the rank of captain. It's when I'm talking super rapidly that it feels like there's like dust in the back of my throat. I often worry the rank of captain has begun to weigh heavily upon his shoulders. Just as I imagine, the same might be said of you and your burdens. But remember, should the weight ever become too much, you needn't stand alone. Our hearts and arms remain ever open, as do the Vale's doors. Thanks. How fares the rest? The Guardians are getting along with the axes fine enough, working to shore up the rest's walls, when not clearing out what few threats remain down in the reeds. Though chances are we'd still be neck-deep in Akashic had you not given that horde your firm but gentle nudge. I know you've a realm to save and all. It's like a certain breath I get, like a certain breath in between sentences, feels like it's getting dust in the back of my throat, and then I start coughing. I know you've a realm to save and all, but if you're ever in need of a quick reviver, come see us and we'll tap you a cask, Martha. Thanks. Flames are bright. You have an uncanny talent of showing up where you're most needed, my lord. Without your steel, I fear the rest would be in the hands of the Akashic, and us but more of their nameless numbers. However, with the horde both now thinned and fractured, we Guardians can focus our efforts on putting down the smaller packs without the worry of being overwhelmed, while Martha's blood axes can return to defending the Tor. As for young Oscar, you will forgive my sudden request for taking him under your wing. He is a good man, attentive, polite, hard-working. So as you can see, he already has learned everything he can from me. He would do well to continue his squiring under a more worthy shield, and the realm has none more worthy than you, Wade. Dramatis Personae. The Garden League have put aside their differences for the time being, allowing us all leave to sip our snake spit in relative leisure. For that, I would hazard, we have your better half to thank. She put on quite a performance. As for yours, well, from one aspiring thespian to another, might I suggest working on your delivery, and your projection, and those stiff limbs of yours, and your countenance, and, well, everything else. We wouldn't want to do the name Underhill a disservice now, would we? A humble request. Master Clive, I apologize for this sudden and untoward gesture. Circumstances have forced me to seek immediate aid, and there is none other to whom I may turn. Your most esteemed Lord Uncle has presented me with a task most vexing, and I fear I am wholly unable to perform to his vaulted expectations, namely, due to a lack of martial aptitude on my part. To wit, I am but a manservice, not a mercenary. While I maintain the fitness ample to attend the needs of a manor, to the attending of bandits in back alleys, I am sorely ill-equipped. If it please you, my lord, prithee come see me at Martha's Rest, where I shall proceed to explain my predicament in full. And he's just gonna wait for me forever until I do this. But yeah, hello, Rico Man. The game's actually really good. It's not perfect, but I've actually really enjoyed this game. It's been pretty fun. I believe you're short-sighted, but from where you sat, you could barely read the text on those letters. Oh. Yeah, it works out great for me playing on a monitor, like in front of me, but I can see how playing a game like this on a TV, it might make a difference, or something like that, where something is just a little farther away. I wonder if there's a way to change it, out of curiosity. Language settings, subtitle size, yeah. So there is an option to make it large and in charge. Oh, it shows a little preview of what it's gonna look like. And I have it at medium, but I can make it smaller. Yeah, so that's how that works. Wall of memories. I don't have many memories. There, I did a bunch of stuff. It's 2:22 in the morning. I'm tired. I'm still recovering from being sick. I could use some rest here. So I think I might just have to wrap things up. Also, in addition to the Pomato video that I was working on for the other channel there, another video that I completed recently was I finally decided to try doing that combination video of my Scarlet and Violet main game and DLC video essays, because I've heard that apparently if you combine things together and then release them as like a single video, they'll oftentimes get like more attention than like all the individual stuff combined. I want to do a test to see if that's true, for one, and two, I think it's just kind of fun to say that I have a video essay on Pokemon Scarlet and Violet that's over 10 hours long. And I had it rendered recently after a lot of trouble. And I had it uploaded to YouTube, and it hit me with like some inexplicable error. It gave me like a gray box and a little red exclamation point, and it doesn't let me edit anything. So I don't know what the hell is going on with that. Like, it is a really big video. Like, how big is it in terms of actual space here? Let's see. It is 47.6 gigabytes. And it's about 10.5 hours long. So it's a big video. And YouTube doesn't like it. And I don't know how to make it work. So I'm gonna have... So I did want to release that at the same time as the thing for the new channel with the Pomatoes there. Be like, hey, here's some old recycled content alongside new content. But I have no idea how the heck to fix the Scarlet and Violet thingamabob there. And I guess it shouldn't be like a major rush to figure it out, because again, it's stuff that already exists on my channel individually, so it's not like a big deal. But it is a little bit stressing, the fact that I encountered rendering issues for so long, and I had it rendering overnight a few times, failing along the way, and had to try several things to eventually get it to render successfully. And now that I have rendered it successfully and it's a nearly 50 gigabyte big video, YouTube doesn't like it. So I don't know what to do about that. I'm gonna have to like troubleshoot it over the coming days. So yeah, you have this exact issue in Fire Emblem 3 Houses. The text is so small that you can hardly view it on your TV screen. And the only time people don't dub the text is on that Time Church question minigame. I have no idea what this is. I'm also pretty sure I saved a second ago, but let's do it again. Yeah, I see my save right there, but I'm doing it again because I feel better about it then. So yeah, that battle against Bahamut was really cool this stream. I'm definitely coughing less by the end of this stream than I was at the beginning, so hey, maybe streaming did help me. Like, I felt like I was coughing up a lung. Still coughing a little bit here and there at the beginning of this stream. Like, I've passed the point where it feels like sickly coughing, and at the point where it just feels like there's that weird, like, ticklish, dusty feeling in the back of the throat from time to time, which I guess is a type of sickly coughing, but I don't know. I'll probably be over it by the next time that I stream, because I'm on the up and up. I've been at, like, a ceiling for a little while, but after doing this stream, I actually do feel better than when I started it, which is surprising, because the first half an hour in, I felt like, okay, this is going to be a short stream after all. I'm going to be coughing up a lung here. That's not the case anymore, so that's good news. So, yeah. We'll see what happens next time when we go to whatever the place was. Tumor. On the screen here, it says travel to Crosjit Echoes. I guess I'm going there next time. And stuff will happen. And it'll be great. And I'm going to troubleshoot some of my videos that I've been working on here. Won't be the length of your video because some mad lad got an entire video of a video game character reading the Bible, lip syncing. Gosh dang it, that's what happens when I raise my voice here. That's pretty amazing. And I know that there are like really long videos on Pokemon stuff. I know that there's like a 12-hour one on Pokemon BDSP, I'm fairly certain. So I know stuff like that exists. I don't know what the heck is going on with my video. I can refresh the page and see if it got the error out of here really quickly out of curiosity. Let's see here. If I refresh my page and yeah, it's broken. Here, let me really quickly. This is what I'm hit with after uploading it. I can't edit anything now. Visibility unknown. It gives me no info about, like, what this is. I figured I'd call it a short critique because that's funny. I'm pretty sure this is the exact character length of like, oh, almost. It's just short of the max character length with everything completely split up like that. So this is what a near max YouTube description looks like. And what do you mean I don't have permission to access this section? I'm not even on my other account. I'm on my main account here. You don't have permission to access this section. So if YouTube wants to stop being dumb, that would be great. But for now, I'm dealing with that. So, you know. And I know that if I just try re-uploading it as is, it's gonna like fail uploading because it'll realize that it's a duplicate of something that I already uploaded. So it's not gonna like it. And pain. YouTube is a perfect platform with no issues whatsoever. So that's fun. So I'm gonna be dealing with that and be getting some good sleep here, hopefully. So with that, I appreciate everybody who tuned in to the first stream that I've done in 2 weeks now. It has been a little bit of a hot second. And maybe I'll get back into streaming some more again here soon enough. It sounds like my cough is on its way out and I can actually do the commitment that I wanted to in December to finish off my current things that I have going on. So, yeah. Until next time, take care and see you